All right, but first, our big story. What happened in Tewksbury on a day where everyone was waiting to hear whether or not market basket workers would go back on the job? Things got pretty ugly out there. Hi, everybody. Maria Stefanos.
And I'm Mike Bodette. A temporary truck driver is arrested by police. He jumped out of his truck, and witnesses say he came after protesters with a hammer. Market Basket just releasing a statement to us about this incident. Here we go. We are thankful that local police intervened and that no one was injured. Market Basket, of course, condemns the driver's actions. Both the driver and the company for which he worked have been terminated, effective immediately.
All right, let's go live right now to Tewksbury with our John Monahan. John, take it away. Boy, this is not what we expected today.
Not at all. It had been a quiet day for the most part, I'll tell you, Maria. The usual suspects on both sides. Then at about 3:30, it just blew up. Maybe 4 weeks of protesting finally got to everybody. That's when we heard sirens, police sirens rushing in, and then a train came. That train blocked our view and our access, but once it crossed, we learned that a truck driver had driven by earlier. He had words with protesters. That same driver had them again as he re-entered the warehouse area. Then as he was leaving at about 3:30, witnesses tell us he got into it one more time, arguing with those protesters, and that is when he jumped from his truck, hammer in hand, and went after two Market Basket workers. Here's what an eyewitness told Fox 25.
He came out of the cab with a hammer down by his side. There was a rag wrapped around it. He was very aggressive. He did not have it held high. He had it cocked at his waist, and he was specifically going after two of our guys.
Once again, the company says, Market Basket releasing that statement saying that worker, the truck driver, and the company he worked for both have been terminated. In the meantime, this was deadline day. The new CEOs had told everyone who was not working to get back on the job or they'd be fired. But today we found that Market Basket workers are very loyal to Arthur T.
Market Basket! Market Basket!
Workers continue to defy the latest ultimatum to get back to work or be fired.
Today is the day, yes.
Monique Dufresne is nervous. She worked inside the corporate offices in accounts payable. Last month, she walked off the job and picked up a sign to support Arthur T, using vacation to replace her lost wages.
Oh yes, 4 very, very long weeks.
Monique is not alone. Workers by the hundreds gathered in a party-like atmosphere, roasting a lamb on a spit and booing scab drivers. Even this black SUV they thought the new CEOs were in, but doing it together. Meantime, religious leaders gathered on the spot where the Demoulas family opened what will become Market Basket in 1917, asking for prayers for a resolution to restore a place they call the supermarket of the poor.
When it hits our pockets, that's when it really hurts, and it's hitting our pockets big time.
And in stores across the area, more defiance, this time of a mandate to clean up store windows, covered with receipts from former customers.
I don't agree with that, so we aren't going to do it here.
We're not going to take them down. Those are from our loyal customers, and we're not going to insult them that way.
Workers across the board remaining loyal to Arthur T, believing he will not let them down.
He would inform us somehow to go back to work if he thought it was hopeless.
That hope not lost, despite a deadline that could cost hundreds their job.
All right, since this whole thing started, we've been talking with these gentlemen right here. This is Tom Gordon, Steve Palenka, both 40-year, give or take a few years, employees of Market Basket. Wow, what happened today, guys, out in Tewksbury? What a strange little turn this took.
Most definitely, crazy day here. About mid-afternoon, we had a truck driver, one of these rogue drivers they've hired to take place of our loyal drivers, driving a truck that looked like it came from a Mad Max movie. Went in, words and gestures were exchanged. He went inside, hooked up with a box, came out, was stopped by the police, waiting to leave, and more exchanges were going, and he rushed from his cab with a hammer in hand. And I'll tell you what, Maria, we have to tip our caps to the Tewksbury police on this one. They averted a tragedy, most definitely. Those 3 officers down there did a tremendous job.
Yep, they were.
Yep.
I mean, this is what this has come down to now. This temporary driver allegedly coming after protesters with a hammer. Today we were supposed to talk about how you guys weren't going to cross those lines, and that no matter what, you're still standing tall with RDT, and this is what ends up happening?
Yeah, apparently so. It's unfortunate it happened, Maria, but it just goes to show you some of the quality of these people they're hiring, as opposed to using our loyal drivers who have been around, a lot of them as long as we have. But that's just what happens when you get to a situation like this. You know, we were all here. We've been very peaceful for the past 4 weeks, haven't had any problems until today at 3 o'clock.
So guys, today was the day that they said, get back to work. Did anyone go back to work?
To my knowledge, no one crossed this road.
Wow.
There are an awful lot of people here, but no one walked across. I had one young lady who's a member of our management. She's worked with us for about 12 years. She said, you know, I spent the last decade struggling to get moved up and promoted in this company, but today, after all this time, I've never been prouder to be a member of the rank and file. And she hit the nail on the head, because today was D-Day for all of these office people, and there are no more directors here, there are no more managers, there's no more supervisors, we're all rank and file. And I have never been prouder to be a member of that group.
Hey, have you guys talked to RDT?
I have not.
I have not.
And yet you do still stand out there and you go week after week after week, and there are people who are not getting paychecks, and you guys aren't getting paychecks. And it's tough out there, but you are standing firm, right?
Now, we're not going to, we have no intention of going back to work until Arthur DeMoulis is back at the helm. They can send out directives about firing people, have hiring fairs, whatever they want to do. But the people that were standing out here for the past 4 weeks are not going back to work till Arthur DeMoulis comes back. And I don't know what it's going to take for these people across the street to get it, but they are just not getting it, apparently. But not until Arthur T comes back do we go back to work under any circumstances.
I mean, it's
Maria,
impressive that you guys have had
they've
this.
threatened us.
This is what? Go ahead, say that again.
This is the fifth. This letter that they just sent out to
Right.
the hourly employees and the truck drivers and some folks. It's the 5th time they've threatened to do this. They just still don't get it. Like Tom said, they don't get it, and they never will.
Yeah.
But I just go back to wondering about this. How do people afford to do this, though? I mean, we're not just talking about managers, we're talking about the rank and file, and if they're not getting paychecks, how can people afford to live, pay their mortgage, put groceries on their own table?
I think it's a struggle for a lot of people. Steve and I may be a little more fortunate than most, but it's a struggle for a lot of people. But I think everybody looks in the mirror and says that almost everything they have, their career and otherwise, they owe to the DeMoulis family and Arthur DeMoulis. And at some point, you got to stand up for what's right, whatever that cost might be.
So let's go.
Many times
Go ahead.
I've asked these people to think about what they have and then ask themselves the question, without Arthur T, what would they have? That answer, they answer their own conscience. That's why it's very difficult for anybody outside this company to get a firm handle on the depth of the resolve and the commitment here, Maria. These folks, it's a struggle, it's hard. They're all at risk, we all know it, but we're not going away.
I don't think anybody's really seen the likes of this anywhere. It's just an incredible thing. The strange turns and twists that this whole thing has taken, and then let's go full circle as we wrap this up. And you must be pleased that the CEOs did take the step of firing this temporary truck driver, but that doesn't really mean a lot to you guys, does it?
I don't think it means much to us today. I mean, the police handled it the way they should have. I think the important thing to see is that, again, for the 5th time, they've said that if people don't go back to work, they're going to fire them. And stay until today, we all stood together strong as one family, and we're not going back till the boss comes back, and it's that simple. We'll be out here for as long as it takes.
Steve and Tom.
Absolutely. You know, Maria,
Go ahead, Steve.
one sentence, Maria. 2 million customers, can't be wrong.
We'll leave it at that, guys. I really always appreciate you coming in and talking with us and each step of this way. And let's see what tomorrow brings, because you never know with this story.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you.